The history of pushing Indigenous peoples away from the West Coast fishery has been long and targeted. As new settlers took more and more control of the fishing industry, people like the Musqueam were only allowed by the federal government to fish for food. That is until one day in 1984, when Ron Sparrow was arrested for using a net longer than he was allowed. He didn't know it then, but his case would change how Aboriginal rights in Canada were asserted.
Just a great fisherman, larger than life. He was like I say, very well respected on the coast.
Sparrow's case was lost in 2 lower courts until it wound up at the BC Court of Appeals. His charge was overturned, setting it up for a battle at the Supreme Court of Canada. By this time, the Musqueam Council and many national Indigenous organizations threw their support into the fishing case.
A lot of communities were upset with Musqueam at the time for taking that case, thinking that we were going to lose and it was going to jeopardize our rights. Now everybody benefits from it.
In 1990, 6 years after Ron Sparrow was charged on the Fraser River, the Supreme Court of Canada upheld the dismissal of all his charges under the Fisheries Act. The Musqueam had what the court ruled as existing rights that had not been extinguished by the Constitution Act of 1982.
From Bud's legacy and in the Supreme Court, conservation comes first. After conservation, our needs have to be met, and those are some of the struggles that we still have. And
the case set out how the federal government had to deal with Indigenous rights in general. Ron Sparrow passed away, surrounded by his family after losing his toughest 2-year battle against cancer. But his legacy to all Indigenous peoples across the country over fishing rights will be remembered forever.
The fishing community has lost a legend in the passing of Ronald Bud Sparrow. His legacy will live on, and may calm seas and fair winds guide you home, cousin.
Wamish Hamilton, CBC News, Vancouver.